Caledonian McBrain and the Big Light present
Fáilte, I'm Coinneach MacLeod, the Hebridean Baker. Originally from the Isle of Lewis, I'm an author, TV presenter and travel blogger.
And I'm Natalie Galloway, a singer-songwriter from Fife.
We spend most of our time travelling the world, seeking out amazing places and meeting the people who live there. Together, we're the perfect guides to the very best things to do, see, eat and enjoy on your next adventure to the incredible islands of the west coast of Scotland.
Welcome to Scottish Island Adventures. It's winter in Scotland and I love it. This is my season, Coinneach.
Well, I think for me it's all about big jumpers, hot toddies and definitely peat fires.
See, I'm getting cozier already. Today we are bringing you a special episode with all things winter and all things festive.
Coming up, I head to the Isle of Arran to experience some of the best things to do at wintertime on the island. From sipping a cosy dram of peaty whiskey to finding the thickest, cosiest woolen hat to keep me warm on the cold island evenings. But first, I brave a dip in the icy waters of Arran, safe in the knowledge I'll be warming up very soon after. It was an early start this morning, ferry over to Arran, but we were so lucky. That sunrise over Holy Isle was just spectacular. And I've just arrived at Stonesthrow Sauna by the village of Lamlash, ready to meet Amy and Andrew, the heart and soul behind this retreat. Set just a stone's throw away from the coastline, this place has become a haven for those seeking a bit of calm, connection, and a wee bit of adventure. I brought my towel and shorts, and I'm ready to take the plunge. Andrew, Amy, Fáilte, good to see you.
Lovely to
meet you too.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves. How did Stonesthrow Sauna come about?
Well, we've been living in Cornwall for the past 3 years. There are quite a few mobile saunas down there. We were going to them. We really loved the social aspect of them, how they were in the landscape. And after moving from Perth, we didn't feel quite settled in Cornwall. We wanted to change. Andrew's parents were living on Arran. He'd spent a lot of time here as a child. And so we thought, let's take the cold plunge and set up our own sauna, be our own bosses, just be in this beautiful landscape, have a lovely place to raise our child and provide something, we hope, that is very wholesome and nurturing and social for what is already a great community, but even more so. We hope that can offer this.
Yeah, we needed to start a business because economically on Arran we weren't going to just rock up and get great jobs here. They're just not really available. And it seems to be working as well, you know. What I like about this sauna is it's moving away from perhaps the older view where it was quite a sort of spa-orientated experience where you sat around in white dressing gowns. And
you mean I'm not getting a white dressing gown?
Sorry, no. You come as though you're going to the beach. It's just it's a day at the beach.
Imagine guests arriving for their trip to the sauna. What should they expect?
They should expect to feel hot. They should expect a really nice, actually calming experience. Inside, it is really special. It smells beautiful. It feels calm, especially in the evening. We have beautiful lights on. It's very relaxing. It's really sociable, even with people who you haven't met before. You come with friends, you have a chat, no phones, so everyone's just focused on each other. It's a wonderful experience. Plus, you're feeling good. Your heart's racing. It's like doing the equivalent of a run, a bit of exercise. So you feel invigorated. you want to go in the cold water because you get really hot, even that's fun. So it is a really fun, social, connecting experience being in the landscape as well. Especially for people who live here, I think connecting to the landscape in that way is really nice and important too.
And also, the weather doesn't matter. So you should expect you can come here and you can go to the beach and it doesn't matter if it's raining. In fact, it's cozier. When the rain's lashing against the window, it's lovely inside. And then you step outside and you're just in your bathing costume and it doesn't matter. There's steam coming off you. You're so hot and you don't feel cold in the slightest. And you're on a beautiful beach in Arran. It's lashing it down with 45 degrees sleet, but it doesn't matter so much. It's lovely. And then you wade out into the sea and you find it refreshing.
Folks, the last time I was here, it was summer, it was lovely and sunny, and I had great adventures. But coming here in winter is a wee bit different, but I'm feeling it just as special.
Oh, definitely. I think there's something about having a shorter day. You know, you can snuggle in front of a fire in a pub, have a little dram. You know, the light is very special.
We get these really still days. They can be very bright, very clear. The water is silent, still. Sometimes it's like a sheet of glass. There's a lovely quietness.
And there's fewer people around to enjoy that. So sort of if you come in the winter, it's a bit more special really because there's not as many people here. So you get it to yourself.
Well, I'm seeing the wee puffs of smoke coming up from the sauna. The fire is on. This is a real bucket list thing to do. Can't wait. Let's go and give it a try.
Great.
The sense of calm when you come in here, Amy, is just lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really lovely. This, I think, is one of my favourite places. The water is so beautiful and soft. The heat just gives you a big hug when you come in.
And that the window, like I said, I can't believe I'm sitting here in a sauna overlooking Holy Isle. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can feel the warmth just coming over me. It's lovely. What temperature roughly is it in here at the moment?
It is about 87 degrees centigrade.
Gorgeous. And I know what you're going to make me do next because I'm looking out at that water and yes, it sort of looks inviting from in here, but it's going to be cold, isn't it?
Yes, it will be cold, but you've warmed yourself up to a point where hopefully you feel like you need to be cooler.
And
so that's the idea.
Have you seen the benefits, Amy, of since you've started to do the sauna and cold water plunging? What kind of benefits have you felt for your own well-being?
Well, I've noticed my skin is much better having had saunas much more regularly. And also I think my mental health and well-being has improved. I sleep better, especially having a sauna in the evening. It really does help you to sleep better. And also it's just, it feels nice to do something for yourself, to take a moment without your phone, to just sit somewhere with a beautiful view and just take a moment just to do something for you.
Well, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. It's lovely in here,
I don't know if I'm ready.
but shall we give it a go?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. Okay. Any advice, Andrew? Just go for it. Slowly,
just
surely.
go for it steadily,
Steadily.
not too slowly.
Okay.
Don't drag it out.
So calming.
And the water is so clear.
What are you doing then? Oh no, I don't like to do it. Okay. Ah!
You can do it!
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So just focus on your breath, and then you should notice that it's not as bad as you think.
It's not as bad. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, I love it.
You'll feel great for the day now.
Phew. So, a wee secret. I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. And today I think I found the perfect person to inspire me to take that next step. I'm on my way to meet Louise, the creative force behind Gleann Co, a one-woman business here on the beautiful Isle of Arran. Her handmade creations and beanie hats are inspired by the stunning nature around her. And I can't wait to hear more about her story and maybe even pick up a tip or two. Oh, hi Lou, how are you? It's Kanya.
Nice to meet you, Louise.
Good to see you.
Come on in.
Thank you. Lou, we're surrounded by balls of wool, beanies, pom-poms. I absolutely love it. Can you share the story of how you first discovered your passion for crochet?
So it was when my little boy was born. Well, actually, when I was pregnant with him and I needed a hobby and I needed to de-stress, I got this blanket and it was a crocheted wave coloured blanket and I totally fell in love and I decided to teach myself because I did ask a friend, but yeah, she's not really got the patience to try and teach me. So I think about 50 million videos in, YouTube videos, and eventually I got the hang of it.
For those of you who don't know, and maybe I'm one of them, tell us the difference between knitting and crochet.
So crochet, you use one hook. So knitting, you've got two needles that knit together and they're very fine. A lot of knitting is more fine, whereas you find crochet can be a lot more chunkier.
Does it give that satisfaction? Because if it's quite chunky wool, it means that things happen quicker. So you see the hat or the scarf or the thing coming together a wee bit quicker.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. Whereas knitting, a hat could take a week. I can crochet a hat within 2 hours.
Wow.
So it's a lot quicker. I mean, I'm not saying everybody can crochet a hat in 2 hours.
No, I think it'll still take me a week, even when I become an experienced crocheter. But what motivated you? Because it's a big step from taking your hobby to become your business. What made you think, oh yes, I'd love to do that?
Well, at first, it still shocks me today that people want to buy something that I've made. And it was friends pushing me, really. It was just friends. They were saying, they're beautiful, they're amazing, you need to try and get them out there.
And you've got a big range of products, and there's so many I completely love. But what are the ones in particular that you see people buying the most?
It's the animal hats, the kids ones.
Well, is this the ones you call the Little Adventurers range?
Yes.
Okay, this range called Little Adventurers. You've got Highland cow beanies.
Yep.
You've got wolf beanies. You've got, is it Brogy the bear?
Yeah, Brogy the bear.
I literally want all of these. Can I sit and look at them going, could I squeeze my head into those?
Adults buy them, so they do. I just make them a little bit bigger than the sizes suggest. And yeah, there's quite a few people that, especially the Highland cow, that seems the popular one.
And you've got two wee boys.
Yes.
Did they inspire any of the designs or products that you have?
So Brogan is my youngest, so the Brogy bear. So I call him Brogy Bear, and I wanted to make a bear hat, and that was probably the first one I ever made, was the bear. The fox one, my little boy Lachlan, he adores foxes. So he was like, can you please make me a fox?
They are so cute. Now, we're here on Arran, where you live. Does the island inspire you?
I love the woods. I love the beach. I love going to the beach. And the colours, they inspired the colours, definitely. And as for the animal ones, we spend a lot of time in the woods, me and the boys, mushroom hunting and just seeing the beautiful things that's around the island. So yeah, I'd say they definitely have inspired.
It's winter time in Arran. You're currying in, you've got your crocheting, but what's your favourite parts of winter in Arran?
I love seeing the snows on the hill. There's so many beautiful colours at this time of year as well. And the community here, you don't feel lonely, so everyone always chips in and gets together. So that's definitely a big part of the island.
And you mentioned, you often do craft fairs and stuff like that, but is there any stores or shops on the island who are selling your beanies?
So the alpaca farm just down the road at Balmickle, they sell hats when they're open. and Bellevue down the road, and they sell them as well. So they're the only places. I try not to push it out there too much, but I'm hoping to get somewhere on the mainland as well. But Arran, there's just those two places at the moment.
But you do sell online as well?
Yes. It's at gleanco.co.uk.
Can I try a little bit of crochet?
Yes.
I don't want to ruin what you've done so far.
Trust me, this took me a couple of minutes, so
okay.
It doesn't matter.
So an absolute beginner,
okay.
Show me what to do.
Right, so it's how you hold the wool. Like, I feel that's what helps me. So I've got it like this. So you don't want to lose it.
Finger.
So around my finger there, and holding your piece here, and then your other hand holds the hook. Right, so you put that wool that side.
That side, yeah. And I've got the wool on my finger. Is that okay?
Yeah, hold it like that. Yeah,
like
that's
that.
right.
And then I'm going to hook here.
Yeah, and then you want to go down, push that through there.
So this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, other way. That way underneath. Oh, in here.
Oh, in there. Yeah. Yeah, I can sense that me getting involved here may add a bit of time to making this hat. Whoever's getting this hat, if you see one wee knock. Oh,
there we go. You did.
By magic.
You did it.
And with no help from Louise whatsoever, I've done one whole stitch.
There you go.
Only another 10,000 to go. And we might have a hat. Louise, I'm really quite inspired by it. I just think the patterns are lovely. When I look at your designs, I really want to wear one.
As you say that, I did make you a little something. This is the moss beanie. I thought it'd go with your skin tone.
It's gorgeous. Okay, I've got to try it on. Be honest. Tell me if I suited.
Yeah, it's perfect colour for you. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness, I'm ready to go back out on. It's a wee bit of a chilly day here in Arran, and now I feel nice and cosy and warm. Louise, it's been great to meet you.
And lovely to meet you too. Thank you.
I don't know how you got in that water. That must have been freezing at this time of year.
I know, and it was, but honestly, knowing that you can get back into that cozy sauna makes it sort of okay, because you're going to warm up straight afterwards. Plus, now, with that gorgeous hat, I'm set for those cold, beachy days this winter.
Certainly are. And I feel like Scottish people, we just do winter really, really well. We've got the old, the Coorie.
Yeah, our version of hygge. I mean, absolutely. For those people who don't know that much about this word Coorie, it's sort of our idea of cozy, I guess. It sort of translates from Scots to nestle or snuggle. And in Gaelic, we have the word blas as well, which is kind of warmth and contentment. And it's sort of evolved now more into that kind of lifestyle trend, which is embracing outdoors or simple pleasures or home comforts. Are you a courier, Natty?
When I tell you, in the winter, I am a hibernating bear. I am a marshmallow. I am a kitten. I am something soft that likes to sleep. I am always a courier, and I am a sort of permanently cold being, so it doesn't matter.
You do love a jumper.
Yeah,
you've got a Gensi on,
It doesn't matter the season. I courier all the time, but in winter it's just magical. So as somebody from the islands, I'm curious, are there any different sort of island traditions or things that you do around Christmas and winter on the islands?
Oh my goodness, there really is. There's amazing traditions on the islands, and I think it just comes from the fact that it's a bit of a challenging place to be in winter. We've got sometimes up to 21 hours of darkness during winter time a day. But on the plus side, according to the Stornoway Astronomical Society, the skies above the Outer Hebrides are now the darkest skies in Europe.
Wow.
So beautiful for stargazing, amazing for seeing the Firchlish, the Northern Lights as well. But we need lots of celebrations to keep us going. And we start on the 21st of December, winter solstice, and we call it Hygge na Seach Superen, the night of the 7 suppers, because they say that it's the longest night, and you can sit down and eat supper 7 times before the sun rises again.
That sounds great.
Doesn't it sound amazing? So it's an absolute dream. And I sort of realised that the number 7 appears a lot in traditions, in Gaelic particularly, because there's another thing about a legend about the 7 characters that spent winter in Scotland. They're called in English, the 7 sleepers of the earth, which were the bat, the stone chat, the barn swallow, the snail, the dormouse, the butterfly and the bee. So seemingly they all stayed in Scotland and all the other animals went on their wee winter holidays. And so if you ever see one of those animals in Scotland over winter, please give them a wave, because they've always stayed.
Oh, so the other ones couldn't handle the Scottish winter?
No, they weren't up for it at all. They went on their holidays. But they all stayed.
Next time I see a bee or a butterfly or a swallow or anything like that, I'm just going to say thank you. You are so welcome.
Well, to Coorie and even more, I headed in search of some delicious and comforting food at the wonderful Thyme Cafe. Nestled away on the west coast of Arran in Machrie, it's a family-run business, and I caught up with Lorna and Hamza. Well, after that sunrise sauna, I'm definitely ready for a treat at the Thyme Cafe. But I'm just going to head into the Old Byre first. It's their shop, and even looking through the window, I can see lots of cosy jumpers. I'm off to meet Hamza and Lorna, the duo behind this beloved spot. With its farm-to-table ethos and stunning views over the Kintyre Peninsula, the Thyme Cafe and the Old Byre have become the go-to place for locals and visitors alike. So let's go in and see them. Hi, Lorna. Kanya, good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Hamza, how are you?
I'm very well,
Good to see you. Folks, what a beautiful shop, isn't it stunning?
Oh, thank you.
Now, so how did a Turkish chef and a Scottish Islander come together to create this lovely place here in Arran?
Well, my parents farmed here, and there was already a shop as a form of diversification before diversification was a thing. They just focused on sort of sheepskin rugs and knitwear and things like that. I left the island as a teenager thinking, I'm never coming back, it's so boring. 13 years later, ended up back thinking, actually, I think I could do something here, and introduced more sort of clothing lines. I then went on a holiday to Turkey and met Hamza, so that was the holiday romance that everybody said would never last. 20 years later, here we are.
Yeah, I've just joined in the Arran life, island life. I come from a bit more built-up area, but I studied tourism and management quite a lot of years, so luckily enough I end up somewhere tourism popular. So.
Oh no, it's a really special place, Arran. And in the shop here, I mean, it's my dream shop. I've never seen so many cosy jumpers in my life. But what type of things do you specialise here in the store?
So a lot on Scottish knitwear and sustainable products. So the clothing lines it's all natural fibres or recycled. There's nothing acrylic or polyester allowed in here. So yeah, I'm very sort of strict that way because I just believe that's the way to go.
What better after you've bought yourself a cosy jumper than going to the cafe? And this part I'm really excited about. So shall we go next door? Yeah. And Hamza, you can show me what you've got on the menu today.
Of course, yeah, let's do it. Which way you like to go, in the kitchen or...
I would love to go in the kitchen, Hamza. Let's go in.
So that's my department here.
So, Hamza, you built your own wood-burning oven here. What inspired you to do that?
I'm from Black Sea side of Turkey, which is towards Russia, and it's quite popular baking bread and kind of pizza. We call them pide in a wood-burning oven. It's in the region. It's spread out all around Turkey. Probably people goes holiday knows them all. So that was the idea. There was nobody doing it, so I come and didn't just build it. Went back to my hometown, get about 3 weeks lesson how to build this oven, because there wasn't anybody around and can do this. So yeah, after 3 weeks lesson, I had 2 weeks more cooking lesson, apart from study 8 years tourism and management. And I learned how to make the pizza from the guys, which I've been eating it for years, but I didn't know how to make it. But it was good. And after 4 weeks, I came here, built the pizza oven. It's quite insulated and everything. It's got lots of rocks inside. On top of that, there's salt. And finally, there's a bottom of the pizza oven there, which keeps the heat all together, all the rocks and salt ideas. So, and it's a dome shape, and you can see insulated on top. And then we put a water tank on top of it, so we heat the water. It's a bit more environmentally friendly that way as well.
So Hamza, here you've selected some really interesting fillings for your pita, including haggis and cheese. I'm sure that's not an authentic filling back in Turkey. If we were back in Turkey, what would be some of the more traditional fillings for a pita?
For Turks, yeah. Generally, they don't do much varieties. Like the steak mince, fried with onion, some sauce, some herbs. That's basically that, or sucuk, or like a chorizo egg and cheese. There's not many variations, but my idea was going a bit different. I learned some Scottish. I like vegetables, so I gone vegetarian, vegan option, and then obviously a bit of what I learned around Scotland or Britain. So I put them all together. So we got aubergine, for example, as a filling, or artichoke.
Well, I'm going to go and get a table in the cafe. Choose something from the menu. Lorna, are you up for that? Are you going to have a slice of pita with me?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Hamza grows all the lettuce leaves and herbs and spinach and things like that just on site, which makes a tremendous difference, not only financially but also freshness. You know, if you buy something in the supermarket, it's a few days old by the time you get it back, but Hamza picks it every morning fresh, so and it really tastes so much nicer.
And how important is it for you to support the local farmers and producers here in Arran?
I think it's very important. There's a local, the Arran Food Group, and that's sort of the initiative that they're trying to get everybody working together. Not only is it again fresh, local supports the farmers, which is so important.
Yeah, one of the farmers, we got a lot of lambs, and then we get them butchered in mainland and brought them over here. And recently mushroom.
The Arran Mushroom Company, that's all oyster mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
So we had the oyster mushroom pide, which was very popular with garlic and.
At some point we bought some potatoes to make some chips from Permel, the next village.
So what can we get you?
Well, I'm going to have to try one of Hamza's special haggis and cheese pitas for sure. But I see you've got lots of teas as well. You've even got a tea menu here.
Yeah, we've got over 30 loose leaf teas, Suki teas, sustainable teas from Ireland. So would you like one of those?
I'd love to try one of the Ayurvedic stress-free teas, please.
No problem.
I make them from fish.
I've arrived at Lagg Distillery, nestled on the southern tip of the Isle of Arran. And I'm here with Graham, who works here at the distillery. Graham, great to meet you.
Lovely to have you here, and thanks for coming.
Graham, we're sitting here. What a view. It's a beautiful building and a beautiful distillery, but we have the most stunning view out to sea. What can I see there in the distance?
That out there is Ailsa Craig, which is an absolute stunning view. One of the key reasons a lot of people come to Lagg is actually just to come and see this magnificent view over the barley field, straight in the water, into the firth, and a clear image of Ailsa Craig coming out the water.
Pretty special, huh?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Now, Graham, for those who are maybe just hearing about Lagg Distillery for the first time, tell us the story behind it.
Well, Lagg was conceived a few years before it was actually opened in 2019. Lochranza was making peated malt, kind of on the fly, maybe 1 month a year. But it was becoming a very popular dram because peated was never really a part of the Arran malt identity. But the thirst for it became so great that they thought, well, why don't we expand further and create a second distillery? And the reason we chose Lagg was historically this is a very significant part of the island for whisky. The last legal distillery before Lochranza opened in 1995 was just a mile down the road, and it closed in the 1840s.
Oh, wow.
That was one of the reasons why we chose a peated malt, because it's kind of a older traditional way. It's one of the ways they would have kilned and dried the barley back in the day.
Yeah, so tell us then, so you've got the two distilleries on the island, so what do you have to do differently here to have that kind of smoky, peated whiskey which you've become so well known for?
Well, the main difference by far is that to dry the barley, you have to use peat in the process. A lot of non-peated distilleries, they'll use heavy oils in fires and to dry out the peat. But for us, the difference is you have to throw a few bricks of turf and peat and so forth straight into the fire, and it gives off a nice plume of smoke. And the flavour that you're looking for, if you're like lightly peated or heavily peated, the number of bricks you throw in really determines how smoky.
So that's really the influence there. Mm-hmm. Is the amount of peat you put in with the barley is going to really influence the flavour?
Yes, it's all about creating this smoky drying atmosphere in the kiln, removing the moisture from the barley so it becomes inert, so it's then safe to store, safe to travel, and then it can be then steeped in the mash house, and then suddenly you've got all this sugar. We're not just a factory down here. We do make a lot of whiskey, but the tourism was the number one factor of Lagg. It's one of the reasons why the distillery is one building. You get a lot of distilleries that are basically a big chimney factory on one side, and you've got like a wee porter cabin on the other side. It's not here. We've incorporated the full visitor centre experience within Lagg Distillery. You first come in, you're immediately greeted with a shop, cafe, a whiskey bar upstairs, and we have so many offerings here. You can have tours, you can have multiple different kinds of tastings. We've kept these multiple tours and tastings open throughout the winter. We also have very unusual options such as whiskey and chocolate pairings.
I saw that. So tell us about that one, because that one I'm intrigued by.
Oh, we have a very nice chocolatier on the island called James's Chocolate Shop, and he sells directly to us, and we have some very, very nice handcrafted chocolates that are paired specifically with three of our whiskies. So it's a truly sensory experience.
Graham, Arran has such a rich whiskey heritage. How do you blend that tradition with your own unique approach here at Lagg?
Well, Arran was quite notorious for its illicit distilling back in the day. I've heard many stories from some of the older patrons on the island who've told me that when they were wee boys and girls in the hills, they would find masses of strange copper just littered about the place. But no one ever said they knew what it was, but no one ever told. But there was always a history of distilling, both legal and illegal, particularly down on the south side of Arran. So we wanted to take that concept. We understand what made whiskey so special down here, and it was that old traditional aspect, the very kind of the peated, the rough. We do have quite of a rough, earthy spirit down here, one that's not as smooth as a lot of maybe some of the Speyside malts you would get. So that would kind of be very reminiscent of the whiskey at the time. And we have a lot of history down here because we actually incorporate all that into our tour. So a lot of education. People are quite fascinated when they come here and they're able to learn about the shootouts that happen between the customs officers and the local farmers. There was a famous story of a farmer who had a barrel of illicit whiskey in the back of his horse and cart. Customs officers happened to stop him by, demanded to know what was in the barrel, and the farmer broke the officer's leg and ran for it.
Well, that's one strategy.
We have court documents to prove this happened. It's wonderful.
And you haven't tried that yourself since you opened Lagg, no?
Oh, a customs officer hasn't come by for a chat yet, but I think I'll give him a cup of tea instead.
Now, it's not all about whiskey here. I'm looking out the window and there are hundreds, maybe thousands of apple trees here as well, Graham. What's going on?
We have about 2,200 apple trees planted on this site, and a lot of people said we were mad for doing it because you can't grow an orchard on the west coast, but I think we've proved them wrong because we've now just completed our second harvest of apples for cider.
Wow.
Yeah, the first it was very small volume, but the first load of bottles all sold between May and June this year, and the second lot's away for fermentation, racking, re-racking, preparation, and should be out in the shop for end of next spring. And it's I can tell you that it's not your typical supermarket cider. It's very much a old-fashioned farmhouse style kind of a cidery wine. It's very strong, very tart, but a lot of people do love it.
I bet they do. And I mean, we're here in December. The beautiful kind of winter light is coming over the island. But are you open throughout the winter? Can people come and visit you throughout the winter time here?
Absolutely, we're going to be open for the entire winter. Obviously closed for Christmas and New Year, but yeah, we'll be here. Tours, tastings, shop, full shebang. You'll come here for a nice hot drink, or you can come here for a good dram.
I mean, I think the whiskey and chocolate pairing tasting when it's a wee bit cold outside, even a wee bit of snow or rain, that sounds a dream, Graham.
Oh, absolutely. It's a nice cosy feeling, isn't it? Just knowing that you're going to come to a nice warm distillery and have a beautiful local chocolate and local whiskey.
Oh, Graham, I'm really inspired. I just think the storyline behind the distillery, the building is just so inspiring. And I'm looking forward to having a couple of drams. Do you fancy one?
Oh, can he stop me?
Cheers, Graham.
Cheers.
Well, that's all from this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, rate and review and share with your friends.
For show notes and more information on this and all our other island destinations, plus full details on Caledonian MacBrain's routes, timetables, prices and bookings, go to calmac.co.uk.
Every journey starts a story, so book your Caledonian MacBrain Island adventure now.
This podcast is brought to you by The Big Light. The presenters were Coinneach MacLeod and Natalie Galloway. The producer was Flora Zacek, with mixing and original music by Brian McAlpine. The assistant producer was Michael Park.
From the Big Light Studio.